This week, I want to have a conversation about capitalism. This is coming from a place where I'm sick of people running around saying everything is communist because they don't like something, or that we're going to turn into a Venezuela or any of these other countries that are impoverished for communism. Those systems of government, they don't work. There's no argument about that. But our system of government isn't working either. So let's go ahead and backtrack and go over the official definition of capitalism. An economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. You can give me any system of government and I can show you two sides. I can show you the utopia side where everything works perfectly, and I can show you the absolute hell side where everything falls apart. Capitalism is not any different. I mean, just like your relationships, you can have a relationship that has equals, you guys support each other, and everything works right because you're working to make the relationship good. Then you can have a toxic relationship where someone has power over the other person doesn't have a life of their own, and they're not getting to their goals, and they're not living their life. Same with governments. Our system of capitalism isn't working because we've given a toxic feel to it. We've all participated in a system where we have a top 1% that owns most of the country. They own the media, they own the government, and they have influence over anything they want. Think about that for a moment. If we're going to have an honest conversation, you have to open your mind and eyes to what's actually happening. So you can sit there and say, well, I'm comfortable. I'm doing fine. I've got my checks rolling in and I feel great. So let's backtrack how you're really feeling. Are you happy working 50 to 60 hours a week just to make ends meet? Are you happy having to commute hours to a job? Are you happy that your salary is this small piece of the pie while the person on top is making 20 times more than you? You're not happy. You're happy that your guy is in charge and he put a little sugar in the gas tank. The economy was running around like a 5-year-old eating 20 lollipops. Yeah, that's all well and good. Your 401k is great. But what about the long-term economy? See, this is where I'm coming from with capitalism. Capitalism should be about opportunity. That's why immigrants come to this country, for the opportunity to become a Carnegie, to become a Rockefeller, to become a Warren Buffett. What's happened over the years is this opportunity has dwindled and we become a caste system. That's really hard to hear. I'm sorry, but the truth hurts. The kid born in the Bronx with a failed education system, everybody around him is selling drugs just to survive. And he's looking at people who did the right thing and they can't get ahead even though they did the right thing. So what's he going to do to survive? That's the question. So what do we do to balance out this toxic capitalism? We create more opportunities. We go to those areas where the schools are failing. We work with the corporations and we pump more money into the schools. I mean, logically, if you walk through the problem, that could possibly work. Imagine that. But what do we do instead? We break into our two camps. Republicans over here and Democrats over here. Republicans say, hey, let them eat cake. They didn't work hard enough to have the opportunities, so therefore they get nothing. That was all well and good when the middle class was strong. But what we have now is the middle class falling, especially with COVID, and the rich are getting richer, which creates an even greater divide. What happens in nations that have a great divide? I'll go and throw some terms out to you. French Revolution. What happened when the rich were really rich and the poor were really poor? The poor rose up and chopped their heads off. What happened in Russia? Or, yeah, I think it was Russia at the time, yeah. When the kings and queens got really rich and didn't care about the people, the communist revolution began. They took the power back with communism and spread the power straight across. What happened eventually? The communists took all the power and the money, and they doled out very little to everybody else. Capitalism on paper is the greatest system in the world. Capitalism in practice in the United States of America, it's falling apart because we haven't taken care of it. You can have a Bugatti, great car, but if you don't take care of it, it's not going to run anymore. This is a point we're at. And it's sad that we're at this point and we're fighting about little pieces of this argument, but we can't get to the bigger picture. We're fighting because we're angry that our factory is closed and we don't have a job. And the people who own that factory gave themselves triple bonuses before they shut it down, or they're using automation. So those jobs are never coming back. We're angry because we can't get a living wage in the cities because the millionaires and billionaires are just cutting themselves checks, bigger and bigger checks, and they're keeping the employees from not getting a living wage. It's all the same stuff. We're angry about the same things. It's time for us to get it together and have real conversations about what's going on, and not just, oh, I voted Republican my whole life. We can't trust the Democrats. They're all communists. They want a communist country. They may call themselves communists. They may call themselves socialists, whatever they call themselves. That's not what the problem is. The problem is they're fighting for the opportunity to succeed. That's what this country's all about. It's about the opportunity. We need to get ourselves in check. We need to stop all the culture wars and making this problem with income equality and wealth inequality about not saying Merry Christmas. What are we doing, people? We're just running around chasing our tails, biting ourselves over and over again, and not moving forward. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about moving forward as a nation. I want to have a real surplus. I want to have the budget balanced. So what happens when the budget's balanced? We can do more stuff. We can be more innovative. We can add more opportunities for people to get ahead. We're not there. We're nowhere close to there. Our system isn't fair. That's what it's all about, folks. A fair system. My name is Kyle Finding King. Thank you for attending my Jeep Chat.